Hello there, I'm Moya. I'm originally from Costa Rica. I am a software designer and a front-end developer, and I wanted to make this video to give a quick introduction of who am I, explain about what have I been doing the last few years, so that you can get to know me a little bit better. Well, I started as a web designer maybe like 10 years ago. I went to college to study design. I got more involved into designing digital products, and I worked at an agency in Costa Rica to build websites based on WordPress. So I used to design them first. At that time was using Illustrator and Photoshop. Of course, now using other tools as Figma, and taking those designs and building them on as WordPress themes. Using PHP and CSS. After that, I really got more involved into web app development. So I started doing more front end using React, and eventually more and more Vue.js. So Vue.js is the one that I use the most now, but I did a lot of React a few years back. Because being in this relationship between design and development, I got more involved into product management, which is a combination of what should we build, and then how do we estimate the amount of work that is going to be involved in building those things that we design. And so I worked for a few companies worldwide. I worked for a company in the US called Sunpro, who got acquired by ADT Security. I worked for a company called StudyMe, based in Australia, and then got acquired by a company in the US. The company StudyMe, I think it's my latest experience regarding product management. I also did a lot of the design part. The platform was a place where students and universities could match. So if you wanted to study abroad, you could match with a university that was looking for international students, and you would get matched and connected with someone that would help you fill out all the information that you needed to apply. So I used to prototype a lot of the features that I wanted to add into the platform, build a website, and then some of the parts that were required backend work, then I used to build all the user stories for the backend developers to work on it, and also the mobile developer. I created all the user stories and the designs to pass them on to get built. A few years back, I got more involved in originally I'm from Costa Rica, which is in Central America. I'm currently based in Suzhou, China. A few years back, I was visiting some family members in China, so I got more involved into the language and Asia. So I really wanted to get spend more time over here, and I found some ways. I started a small company based in Costa Rica, but also in Singapore, which allowed me to move there for a while. And I lived there with my wife for 2 years. We also met a lot of people, met a lot of opportunities to spend more time over here. And now I'm doing well. At that time also I started a master's in business administration, which allowed me to increase the one of my projects called Pengi Labs, which is just a small software firm, which is run just by my brother and a few friends back in Costa Rica. It's I don't spend the day-to-day operations on the company, but I am co-founder of it, and most of the work, I just get involved into advising, some of the product design. That also led me a bit more into studying abroad. Part of my career designing for international students allowed me to also apply for studying in China. So I'm currently attending a master's here in China. So I'll be here for at least 2 years. And to share a bit more about where do I see myself in the next few years. Well, I've been doing all. Of course, I have an Upwork profile which is full of projects. I've been working as a contract, also use my company to do some work, to build software for the past maybe since 2018, and in a lot of different industries. I have worked in the fintech industry, have worked worked for some crypto companies. They wanted to build some dashboards to be able to pay, do the payroll using crypto. I've worked for one of my first projects was called Doc Cafe, which is for nurses and physicians to find where to work in the US. I also worked for a company in Morocco that did logistics for small stores, so to supply small stores. So I'll browse here this small magazine that I did to explain, to showcase some of the work that I've been involved. So, for example, this application was an application for small stores in Morocco to order some of the products that they would need in order to sell in their stores. So they asked me to manage all the new application that was going to be used by these store owners to get the products from the suppliers, which the company was also a supplier. So that's one of the reasons why they wanted to build the application, to make it easier for their customers to order the products. But eventually this would work for also other suppliers. So they had a loyalty program. They also had a payment system so that you could earn some points by ordering more, or also by earning like a network of people that were also your other store owners within your network. So that allowed you to select different types of payment methods. This is a prototype for some challenges that you could earn rewards within the application. So in order, let's say if you ordered 20 products from a specific store, then you would earn some points that you could use in that store eventually. So we needed to design that as well. Then this example is from a franchise, like a soccer school franchise in the UK, which they have like between 30 and 35 places across the UK, and the main goal was to build a platform to not only take people, new customers on a new website, but also to build the CRM, where you would receive all these leads coming from the website or other, maybe some social media platforms, to then manage the follow-up with those leads. So and also we had some mobile application for the teachers or the coaches to know what was the session plans that they needed to teach on the classes. So for example, we had some example here where you could see okay, where as a customer can I find some place so that my kids can take the classes. This was actually focused on classes for kids. So you had the option to reserve classes. You could follow up with, okay, what's going to be the next class. This is a quick intro to the coach's application, where they could see their schedule, or depending if there are other activities, not only classes, they also hosted holiday camps, birthday parties, and so on. So they could see all those activities there and manage their own schedule. And the CRM, as you can see here, was really complicated, really complex, where you would need to not only track the leads, but also track the already paying members, and also track the attendance of all the kids. So that project was pretty large. My involvement in those two was in some I was doing more design, and some I was doing some front end development. Actually, in the last one, I did a lot in the front end part using Vue.js, and in the other one, in the Morocco project, I had a team of designers who I had to keep on updating and posting. Okay, well, what is the idea that I think could help? How do we turn this into a real prototype? So I had to manage the design team basically. And for this one, it's for a company in China called Dijinyun, and they had like a cloud-based cloud software just to manage files. So we had to do some prototypes. This platform is actually, or this customer is rather well known in China, and there's a lot of file management system over here. All right, so I really wanted to update this video. I had a previous video, but it was like 2 years ago that I made the first one, or the last one, and I really wanted to take a few minutes to explain my thought process also. I normally, when I receive a project, I tend to ask 3 questions. I try to understand what do you sell, or what do you offer, right? So I ask, okay, what do you do, and how do you do it, and then how can people get it? Meaning that the what do you do is, okay, I offer, maybe you can tell me, I offer specific services, or I have a restaurant. Okay, so you offer certain type of food, and how do you do it? It's like, okay, but maybe that restaurant is not is it like a physical store, or is it online, or is it that you order large orders previous, like a catering, or is it some not the normal restaurant, just some other type of food providing service that it's not really related to a restaurant. So I need to understand how is it that you sell that product. And the last question is regarding how can people get it. Is, okay, if I design a site or an application for you, how can I make it easier for people to purchase or get or start using your service or product more than they are doing it now, right? If they are taking 10 days to start using it, then okay, how can I make it so that it takes hopefully half the time? And in that situation may happen that you can tell me, well, usually they come into a call or they schedule a time with one of our sales personnel, and then we show them our platform, or show them how to use our system, our software, and then they can decide if they start using the service or not. If that's the case, then I understand, okay, how long does it take? Does it take 5 days? Then maybe how does it work currently? Do you currently have a site, or do you do it offline? So just to have an idea how to improve that process, and also explain to others, okay, this is how you do it, and this is how you can now make it easier using the tool that I need to design. Okay, so that's the usual approach that I take. And other frequently asked questions, some people ask me, well, do you see more as a designer or as a front-end developer? And I tell everyone, like, since a few years back, I see those two as the same thing. It's just another way of doing the same thing. I understand that, I mean, there are some designs that are static, and there, of course, the development has interactions and has tools that you can do a function on it, or you can do an action on them. But from my perspective, you can now also do some of those things also in design. What I'm trying to build is just, okay, there's a solution that you want to do, and either if it's going to be static, or if it's going to be an interaction that you do in a prototype, or if it's going to be a live site, it still requires some solution that you need to design and then just put it there, and how to make it available for your customers. So I sometimes I would design on Figma directly, and then put them on the code, or sometimes I would take the code and build the design in there. depending on how it's built. But I'm very comfortable using many types of frameworks, and well, I hope this gives a better understanding of who am I. I am very nice to meet you, and very open to have a call if you want to ask more questions. Okay, see ya. Thanks for the time. Bye bye.